explaining to me about this little crazy river that he had somewhere along Strangford Lough. And my mum and dad lived in Newton Arts for about 5 or 6 years, so this area wasn't unknown to me. And it was just something caught my attention about the fact that this little river was quite like the little river that I helped to save in Dublin, and the fact that if we could get the community behind it, we could do something rather special with it. But just to let you realise how important this initiative is potentially in the context of the British Isles. And maybe now that I have Jim, who's been a very loyal supporter, and indeed the councillors here, to ask you about something you might be able to do for us in the context of Strangford-Lough in general. When we started this programme, it was quite unusual in the sense that it was something that was very special and something that wasn't mimicked elsewhere. But if you look at what's happening at the moment in terms of the Mersey, in terms of the Thames, in terms of the tributaries of the Liffey in Dublin, because of an EU directive called the Water Framework Directive, the rivers are starting to clean themselves. We had a motto in my lab which said, leave the fish alone and manage the catchment. Managing the fish is actually very easy. Building a hatchery is dead easy. Managing people is really, really, really difficult. But what the Water Framework Directive is doing is, unbeknownst to us, and because of our taxes, and maybe even increased taxes in the future, we're managing water better. As we manage water, the fish are finding the clean water. In the Mersey at the moment, there's 7 different races of salmon running the Mersey because they have found clean water. They're not natural to that river. The same thing could very well happen in the very short term around Strangford-Lough. We had an inspirational talk from Robert Rosell earlier this afternoon. If you get a chance, go to it tomorrow if you haven't heard of it. And he outlined all of the little streams around Strangford. And he told us that those little natural factories that are there could produce 30,000 sea trout free of charge into that loch. Can you imagine the consequences of that for tourism? The consequences of that in terms of purer, cleaner water that doesn't have to be treated? This is a real economic value, and that's all started as a result of what's being done here on the Dibney. And what I would ask, particularly those that have influence in terms of the local authorities, look again at your budgets. Look at what you could do for these tiny little streams, and look at the long-term consequences of that in terms of the statement that would make for Belfast just north of here. So I think what Stevie has started is something much, much bigger. It's actually a microcosm of the way we have to start managing our rivers and our lakes into the future. There's a term we now hear called the citizen scientist, and he has created citizen scientists here in Killyleagh. He has created them from 8 years of age up. I remember some years ago we had great support from the police service in terms of the initiative here. I'll never forget the excitement of the kids when we brought them out to show them what was in their rivers. And now they're beginning to get to the stage where they're teenagers and when they can start to take charge. So I'd just like to put a toast, not alone to Stevie, but to the whole initiative, the team, everybody that's been involved here in getting this to this stage, and to wish them the very best in the future as an index project, as a project that's really going to show the way forward. So to the Dibney Trust.